The barrel of Pandu's last gun glowed an angry red as his squad unleashed another volley of laser fire. The charging orcs died instantly, their massive bulk crushing the goblin-like Gretchen as they fell over them. Pandu watched through his foggy visor as some of the Val aliens fell into the deep canyons. Below him, he saw the ocean of orc carcasses, wrecked vehicles, and fallen guardsmen that filled up the deep chasms. The smell of burnt oil and rotten bodies was thick in the air, along with the cries of both aliens and humans as they fell to their deaths during the chaotic battle. "Guardsmen!" cried the Lady Commissar. The squad unleashed another volley of laser fire. They continued their march through the canyon's side, though the progress was slow, with the passageways being too narrow and the squad having to stop every few minutes to shoot in volley formation. They were making progress. Time and time again, sieging the castle seemed impossible. However, Kronos' regiment was determined and adaptable, and surrender was not an option. Their latest attempt was Pandu's squad entering the fortress through the heavily guarded sewage system. The Breather Max did the best it could to rid the smell from the sewage pipes, but it did very little. The intense heat that the system would emit made wearing the turban that he and his regiment wore almost unbearable. Pandu and his squad unleashed another volley of laser fire. The guardsman whispered a silent prayer. He fingered the golden eagle that hung round his neck. In an explosion of light, the Space Marines entered the fray. The orcs, with their eyes burnt by the sudden light, could not see the death that came for them. Sigismund, suited in his hulking Terminator armor, swung his thunder hammer in a wide arc. The hammer's massive head crushed the skull of the nearest orc. With his other hand, the Space Marine rammed the other greenskin against a wall with his storm shield. Loki practically leapt into the fray like a maddened wolf, cutting down other blinded orcs with his snarling chainsword. The orcs that were deeper within the tunnels, who were far away from the explosion and were not blinded, charged at the invaders. Callen and Torkin were at the rear, releasing a maelstrom of hellfire rounds at the approaching orcs. These bolts released corrosive acids within the greenskins, and they dropped the Xenos in bubbling sludge as the explosive cells entered the green flesh. Horus fired miniature blue suns with his plasma gun, striking down the much taller orcs that tried to attack the blind areas of both Loki and Sigismund. Sigismund's thunderhammer tailed blue light as it struck a snarling knob. The mighty orc, even with his entire ribcage crushed and sunk into his organs, persisted his assault. It clawed the helmet of the Imperial Fist, but only managed to peel off a few layers of black paint before Loki severed the alien's head. "Onwards! Keep pushing!" Callen barked. Torkin's fires were precise, aiming his shots at critical areas of the orcs as he pushed on. Horus felt his plasma gun bulging with heat, and he switched to his bolt pistol. Shouldered with Callen, both the Marines pressed on, eliminating what was left of the green menace. Once the battle was over, the Space Marines grouped together. Callen observed his squad. Both Sigismund and Loki were coated in gore, while he and his two other battle brothers seemed unscathed. "Inquisitor, the teleporter took us to the labyrinth. What is our next course of action?" Callen asked through his Vox channel. "The map my fellow Inquisitors have provided me wasn't completed, but it may still help us," answered Daniel. "Continue south, to where this weapon may be located. I will guide you as best I can." Disconnecting the link, Callen and his squad made their way through the alien labyrinth. As the Space Marines made their way through the ancient temple, taking routes to avoid further conflict with the Xenos, Callen studied the walls. Most of them were carved with hieroglyphics of the Eldar colony. Down one hall, he would find depictions of the Eldar going about their daily lives, from farmers, to priests in holy prayer, to celebrations of royal family members. In other routes, they would find ancient carvings of what appeared to be Eldar warriors in spiked armor wielding toothed blades, surrounded in fields of roaring fire. Loki wasn't the least bit interested in the alien arts. Other members of his squad would take quick glances at the arts, but unlike their sergeant, whose chapter is known for their kleptomania, they were more concerned about the mission. As he led the squad with the map the Inquisitor has provided, he linked his Vox to a private channel. Danielle, is there anything else the Inquisition learned from these ancient Eldar? Much of the language from these Eldar are different from what the Imperium has learned, Sergeant. But we were able to learn a few things, though. When their empire fell, a fleet of Eldar were able to find a remote world to settle in, far away from the dangers of the demons and other alien threats. Of all we understand, these Eldar were fanatical worshippers of their god Cain. As millennia would pass, their homeworld would become a planet of raiders and tyrants. Horace held up a hand. Through sign language, the Black Shield made his request to scout ahead. Callen allowed it, and returned his attention to the Inquisitor. These Eldar made their own crusades against entire solar systems for their war god, plundering planets in ritualistic sacrifice. Some of their tablets even say that they've made war against fellow Eldar, and it wouldn't be until the Space Wolves exterminated them all during the Great Crusade that their colony fell. Horace glanced back to the squad as he neared the corner of the hall. Sergeant, you better come look at this. The Space Marines followed Horace. Around the corner, the hall led them to an opening. The scenery before them was best described as a great domed room, with statues of the Eldar god circling it. Below them, orcs of such massive builds had gathered around a raised dais, where what appeared to be their war boss standing before a great statue. The great alien was a hulking thing suited in thick plating, its colors a sickly yellow and displaying a grinning moon upon its massive chest. Its bucket-like helmet was crowned with thick, devil-like horns, with its visor shaped as if a toothed smile. Over the massive orc, a great bronze statue sat upon a throne of severed skulls. Callen and his kill team had studied much of the Eldar culture during their time within their watch fortress, of how the ancient Xenos kept an avatar of their god within each craft world, and would only use them during the most desperate of situations during the times of war. But the statue that they looked down upon was all wrong. Normally the avatars were silver giants in a sleep-like state. Yet the bronze thing that they were seeing had a canine-like face, with a pose that made it appear as if it was in fitful sleep. The entire construct made Callen think that this deity was something else, something much older and primordial. Boss, Space Marines! Below Sigismund, a Gretchen pointed to the Space Marine squad. The orcs erupted in a frantic, bloodlust frenzy as they charged for the Space Marines above them. Sigismund squashed the goblin-like alien with a simple swat of his hand before he too charged at the green tide. Loki followed suit, with Horace and Torkin providing cover fire. Callen switched his ammunition from Hellfire rounds to the heavier-shelled Vengeance rounds. He aimed his bolter at the war boss. The orc, before his brains exploded in beautiful gore, slammed a crimson jewel within the chest of the great statue. The stone, which pulsed like a diseased heart within the statue's chest, was all too familiar to Callen. It was a spirit stone, a gem that would normally hold the soul of a slain Eldar. Yet the stone within the statue's chest seemed wrong. With its red glow, the energies that was inside seemed hateful, a beast who longed to be freed from its imprisonment. The statue stirred. Its fingers twitched, then clenched together into fists. The ceiling parted like a set of double doors, and the statue was showered in dark, boiling blood.